I've always wanted to make music and write, and just it just doesn't feel worth it anymore. What's the point in doing anything, really? What's the point in learning or creating art if the AI is just going to create it for free? And the humans, they don't care. They want it for free. They'll take good enough over the hard work of another human being. This is the timeline where we're all doomed. So it doesn't matter what kind of music I make or release or what kind of books I write and put out there. AI can probably do just the same thing. And that has been when you live to create art and you live to study science, to eventually make a contribution to the scientific field someday. When you have those two reasons to live, and it feels like both of them are under threat, I mean, see, the thing is I want to get my degrees, as I had mentioned, but my plan is to eventually go back. You know, I want to go and I want to study physics and mathematics. I want to pursue those as far as I can go, mechanics as well, and engineering, so that I can maybe even come up with stuff to make the lives of disabled people easier, come up with like all these, like, I don't know, accommodative things, I guess. I need them. You know, I need the sciences and maths and the arts. But it's beginning to feel hopeless. Because what's the point in any of it if the AI can do it better? I mean, God, I plan on taking one of my scientific theories to the fucking grave. But who knows? AI might actually find a better scientific theory that makes mine look like a fucking joke. And I could just be a fucking idiot. Besides, some things are just better not for to be in the hands of mankind. But yeah, I wish things were different. You know, it's really stupidly hopeless whenever you're fucking saying stupid shit. Like, I wish you were different. As if it's gonna change anything. It's been over a fucking decade. It's not gonna be any different. I've been sick for over a decade. Woo! Yay. I'm exhausted. I don't know. This got really dark and heavy. Let's bring the vibe back up. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to start crying. Sleep deprivation is a stupid bitch. I mean, considering where I was mentally for the past few days, I mean, I'm not surprised that the combination of sleep deprivation and that has led me here to sitting on my dorm floor crying to my rather small audience, because I don't genuinely get a lot of views, which is fine. Honestly, I feel like my channel's legacy will actually not really be much until I either am wildly successful in my pursuits or dead. Which is really fucking bleak. Either way, I still keep on telling myself I'm going to write that stupid fucking book, but I think I'm full of shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write bits and pieces and bring it here. And I warn you guys, it will be very triggering. And I'm not likely going to censor or hold back. I might use different wording to work around things, but I'm not going to do it in the stupid censored YouTube kind of way. I'm sorry, but like there are other more intellectual ways of expressing those exact same words without using words that just rhyme with it. You know, like there are so many fucking ways to like say, gee, I'm suicidal without saying, I want to unalive myself. I don't know. That just, it bothers me. The babification of like the fucking internet bothers me. Like the censorship. You know, the censorship increasing in the present time as everything going to shit is furthermore, I think, meant to break us and isolate us further. I swear to God, the system is trying to make as many of us kill ourselves as possible. I fully believe this, especially after the days that I have spent scrolling through some of the darkest corners of the internet. I have spent years in the darkest corners of the internet where the people are really, really mentally ill, really miserable. I mean, I'm talking about people who abuse substances, abuse themselves, get themselves in relationships and situations that are really dangerous just because they don't give a shit what happens to them. Maybe this will be the thing that finally pushes them to end it. That's like a lot of their fucking thought process. And it's like, oh my God. And it's like, bro, you don't need to be like adding all this extra trauma before you fucking walk out the door too. Jesus. Have some mercy on yourself. And I get it. It's a self-harm thing. It's a self-destructive thing. It's a self-punishment thing. Torment. I know, I get what it's about. But it doesn't make it okay. You know, it's still kind of fucked up, actually. I don't know. Like I said, I've been on the darker corners of the internet for a very long time as far as the mental illness people go, the self-destructive individuals. I've watched myself keep a safe distance from a lot of that to try to keep it from affecting me. But at the same time, psychologically, I find it very fascinating, and I like to do a lot of analytical things. I have a very weird tendency to pick up on patterns because of my autism. So I recognize who I'm seeing crying out the most. And I'm recognizing the people who aren't crying out, but are definitely fucked. Like, we're all cooked, man. Last night, I think that showed me plenty of just how cooked we really are as a society. And that's, like, really depressing. I'm not gonna lie. And it's getting harder to keep a distance from a lot of that as I've found myself relating to a lot of it in a way that I guess previously I didn't. A lot of these people, their depression makes them feel like burdens, which is a very common symptom of depression. You feel like a burden to everyone around you. You feel like they would be better off without you, and that you're doing them a favor by ending yourself. That's the thing. People often think that like suicidal people are like horribly selfish, and I think that's very rude for one thing. How dare you expect someone to stay here when they are literally miserable? like, not everybody's gonna, I guess, be the same level of robust. But I'm also speaking as someone who is a chronic pain patient and a spoonie, and who kind of recognizes that as it stands presently, my future doesn't look too promising. I'm not sure if I will even have the capacity to even do half the shit that I want to by the time I get through schooling, which would be pretty devastating. But I found myself more and more reaching a point of apathy where I just kind of don't care. It's like, oh no, I failed at this thing. Whatever. Add it to the list. I don't know. Like, I recognize that I'm kind of in a dark place or whatever. But it's whatever. I mean, the thing is I'm trying to have as much of a positive impact before I go. And there is one thing that I need to do before I can go. And I'm not saying that I'm, like, planning on actually, like, ending myself. No, I'm just saying that there are things that I want to do sooner rather than later should something happen. Because, I don't know, I just don't have a whole lot of faith in my body anymore to survive. Like, my stomach feels sick when I eat. Like, I put anything in my stupid stomach and I feel sick. Like, I'm at a point where it's just like, I don't even want to be bothered with the burden of feeding myself. Just put a fucking feeding tube in and be done with it. You know, I'm just so fucking exhausted. Like, between the ARFID and the physical damage done to my body by my own immune system, my stomach is just fucked 2 ways to Tuesday. There's just no shot. Also, that's a phrase that my mom says all the time, fuck 2 ways to Tuesday. Yeah, so if you guys were wondering where that little phrase comes from, my mom says it all the time. Apparently, my grams used to say it a lot. So, I don't know. I find myself latching on to things that my family, my grandmother and my mother would say. I find it comforting because they get it. Or, in my grandma's case, she got it. She understood. After my grandma had died, my mom actually told me later that there were points where she found suicide notes that my grandmother had written to her. You know, and mom would confront her about it and be like, why? Why would you do this? And, like, be so upset. And Grams would just be like, I just don't feel like fighting anymore, being here anymore. Kind of, like, that seemed to be the general energy. Like, after my grandpa, Bucklew, died, Grams kind of just, she was just waiting for her chance to join him, really. I feel like that's really all it was. And apparently she contemplated taking herself out of the equation multiple times. And ultimately it was a stroke that did her in. But still. And then, of course, mom's disabled, and her luck is pretty shit too, honestly. She's been homeless the past almost 3 years until just recently she got into an apartment, and then she got approved for SSI, disability benefits, and then now the lawyers who helped her get those benefits are suing her. So it's like, oh, that sounds really like shitty luck. The whole system's fucked. And there's nothing we can really do about it, except trudge through each day and hope to God that something will change. And that we don't tap out before it changes. I guess that's really it, you know? And I keep thinking that I'm, like, thinking from a very rational standpoint whenever I think about my own life and my own backup plans, so to speak, should things not pan out. And I recognize that these are, like, you know, I don't know, sick thoughts, probably, like, really warped, coming from a mentally ill place. You know, like, genuinely sick thoughts. Thoughts of a very sick mind. That is just tired of continuing to fight here. I don't know, it doesn't help that we're also approaching the 10-year anniversary since someone who I had looked up to greatly, who had kind of inspired me to embrace myself and, like, you know, not kill myself when I was a teenager. And no, this is not me referring to the time when I was 14. When I was 14, that actually had nothing to, like, when I was 13, 14-ish, that had nothing to do with suicide. But no, but when I was 15, it's all I could think about. And so that's the point in which, you know, I was like, I found myself, like, kind of looking up to this person and his boyfriend, because I was struggling with my own, like, queer identity at the time. And but he ultimately ended up killing himself 10 years ago this summer. I can't remember if it was June or July. I think it was July. I want to say July 22nd or sometime around there. Unfortunately, I can no longer look at the archives to find out this information. I feel I'm one of the few people left who seem to remember him. Nobody else from that. We were in a small online community. We were just a bunch of teenage artists over the internet. And it was grand. I loved it. I was exploring my art. That was back when I was still drawing and stuff. I mean, God, I miss drawing. I miss that so much. You guys don't even know. But yeah, I was drawing, exploring art, and talking to other teenagers my age, you know? I was 15 and I was in this little online community, and the youngest of us was like 13 or 12, and the oldest of us was like 16. So we were a small group of, like, younger teenagers who were just artists, and we were just all lonely. We had no friends because we're the bullied kids, you know? We're the artist weirdo outcast who sits in the corner and doodles all day. And then occasionally someone will be like, "Oh, wow, that art is so amazing. You should draw me." And then you're like, "You bullied me my whole life. Why do you want me to draw you?" The fuck? The entitlement. But yeah, no, so for real, that shit happened a lot growing up, though, for real. But no, anyway, I digress. But yeah, so we were just a bunch of, like, really mentally ill, lonely teenagers who kind of just were struggling with queer identity and with ourselves. And we kind of just formed this little community online. And those are some of my happiest years, being part of that community. And I actually really, really, really want to have some videos breaking down the good points in my life. Even if things in the background were bad, I want to have videos that focus on the good parts. And then I do also want to have videos where I spill my guts about the bad parts, because it's time that I break the golden rule of our household. What stays in this house, what goes on in this house stays in this house. My bad, I almost said it backwards. Yeah, my brain starts running in reverse after I go so long without sleep. Fun fact. New lore unlocked. No, I completely pulled that out of my ass. But no, it'd be funny if it did, though. No, it really wouldn't. It'd be annoying. But yeah, so I know I'm so good at faking energy. Really, all I'm doing is trying to escape the fact that I have this all-consuming, crushing sense of impending doom. So let's laugh and pretend it's not there. It's the Gen Z way. And yes, I know, I'm disgusting. I'm still fucking haven't showered. I still am wearing this